As we did with the cash receipts journal, we're going to post the titles of the cash payments journal. So the first one we've got is the title of the bank column. That's all the cash we've paid for the month. So that's going to reduce our asset, so that'll be a credit. Always post on the last day of the period, and the reference we'll talk about at the end. This figure in the creditors column, that represents payments to creditors, so that's going to reduce the amount we owe, so that'll be a debit, posted on the last day of the month. The figure in the stock column, that's buying an asset, so that's going to increase it, so that'll be a debit. And then got an advertising expense, so expenses are debits, so posted on the last day of the period. Likewise, the figure in the wages column, that's another expense, so we'll post that on the last day of the month as a debit. We've got drawings. Drawings are a negative owner's equity, has its own rule, so remember that it's going to go up on the debit side and posted on the last day of the period. We'll go to the GST. There's the GST that we've paid. So when we pay GST, that lowers our liability, so that will decrease our liability, which is a debit, and posted on the last day of the period. And that leaves sundries, and again we don't post to a sundries ledger. It's all the irregular transactions, so we won't actually create a sundries ledger. What we'll do instead is post each sundry individually. So in this case we've got insurance. Insurance is an expense, and it's an expense going up, so that'll be a debit, posted on the last day of the period. Looking at the referencing, so we had one giant credit to the cash at bank ledger. And we can't, we'll enter each of the debits, and we'll see we've got debits in this case to creditors, stock, advertising, wages, drawings, and GST. We also had a sundries ledger in there that I haven't listed for space. But we'll see that for the debits, the reference will be cash at bank. All those credits match up to one giant debit, all those debits match up to one giant credit in the cash at bank ledger. So our reference will be cash. But for the cash ledger, we can't possibly fit all those references in, creditors, /stock, /advertising, and so on. So we'll just write our reference as cash payments.